Hope that it's quick today. All right. 3, 2. It's officially the NFL new year, and all over the league, there's contracts being inked. I'm Bria Maranthus with Mike Fisher at Dallas Cowboys headquarters.
All over the league.
The Stars. All over the league except for here at the Star. So the Cowboys having a very quiet NFL free agency. Do you feel that is a quiet mistake?
Well, can we clear up the junk first before we get to the speculation and the opinions? This is the internet's fault, and we love the internet. But part of the criticism of the Dallas Cowboys and their inactivity, and that's indisputable. They have not done virtually anything. Is
re-signed the long snapper.
Right.
You must mention that.
Right, and his Eminem parody video.
It's
very
great.
cute.
Yes.
It's because Jerry's in Turks and Caicos, and Steven's in the Bahamas, and everybody's on spring break, and they're on the yacht. None of that's true.
Yeah.
I can say this with all due humility, of which I have very little. I was the guy starting 10 years ago that broke the story every year about where the Jones family was
Vacation.
to start. Pardon?
To vacation. Where
Right.
were
It really was spring break.
Yeah.
And aside from football, I wrote this for 10 years. I've written this. It's quite charming. It's Grandpa Jerry taking the grandkids on spring break. It's pretty cool, except for the football part, because he's also the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
But both those things can be true. It really is. It's adorable. Jerry and they all put on a couple years ago in 2018. They went to the Caribbean or whatever, and they posed for pictures, and they were all wearing white shirts and white pants, and the grandkids and Jerry. It's adorable.
Yeah.
But it's not football. And I wrote about that, and I was critical of it. And the Cowboys talked, and I've talked with Jerry about it, and I've talked with Steven about it. Will McClay at that time said, I'm here, and I'm pretty much chained to my desk. So we got this handled. Steven would tell me, you're right. I'm sitting by a swimming pool right now, but I've got a laptop and I've got a computer. We're in business. It still looks wrong. The Bengals general manager, the Seahawks general manager, and the Giants general manager are not in the Bahamas. And at different times in the last decade, the Cowboys brass has indeed done that kind of thing, but not this time. And so shame on us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and Tacto and FaceTime and MySpace and MyFace, because there's reports everywhere that are saying Jerry's in the Bahamas, and he's not. You know where Jerry was on Monday?
Where?
Right there. That's his office.
Yeah.
Right there. Steven was not in the Bahamas or in Turks and Caicos. He was, however, in Austin. Was he partying in Austin? Because it's, what is it, South by Southwest? It's a music festival, right?
Yeah.
You know what else it is? It's also a business convention now. And it's true. Steven and Charlotte both went and spoke, as did Lisa Leslie. They were with Lisa Leslie. They were with Bijan Robinson. They were with Stephen A. Smith. And they spoke at a business convention. Would I have preferred that Steven been right here? Yes, I would. If I'm a Cowboy fan, I want Steven, Will, Jerry, and McCarthy. I want them sitting right there. I want to be able to see them right there. We almost can't we? But Steven did not go on vacation this year. Jerry did not go on vacation this year. They're in Texas. Steven was in Austin for a day. By Tuesday, he was back. I'm not defending it. I'm explaining it. So don't confuse this, Cowboys Nation. When we talk about what the Cowboys are doing and why they're doing it, it's not meant as necessarily support of it. There's a difference. English is our first language, most of us, right? There's a difference between explaining it and defending it. The Cowboys are not doing very much business at the beginning of NFL free agency, but it's not because they're out of touch. Jerry's right there as we speak, and Steven's right there. In fact, in this building right now, Jerry, Steven, McClay, and Mike McCarthy are in unison as they try to get ready to make the next/first move. There you go. That's the facts.
There we go. Let's narrow in on one position in particular for the Dallas Cowboys, running back, because it was the splash move that everyone wanted the Cowboys to make this free agency, and then Derrick Henry goes to the Ravens, and hearts break all over the DFW area. What are they looking for when it comes to running back?
And of course, the running back position is still a sexy thing, and that's okay. At the same time, we've lost sight of the fact that, and this is the study that the Cowboys did regarding DeMarco Murray years ago, we're not going to pay big money to heavy lifting running backs as they approach the age of 28. Then the Cowboys did it anyway with Zeke, and they kind of did it anyway with Tony Pollard, and both those contracts turned out to be, to a degree, a mistake. So here we are again.
Looking for another 1-2 punch?
And trying to spend some money, but the Cowboys don't want to spend some money. When they said no to Zach Moss, who's, frankly, he's a middling running back. He was a third string running back a year ago in Indianapolis. And they said no to $4 million a year, that's our sign. We've been reporting all along, they were never, ever, ever in on Derrick Henry. I don't care if he did buy a house here. He bought a house here a long time ago. It has nothing to do with it. This is a lovely community in which to raise your family, right?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to play here for half the year. And Derrick Henry's not playing here for half a year. He's going to go try to win a championship in Baltimore, and good for him. Now, as we speak, and this may, by the time you watch this may have happened. The A.J. Dillon thing is real. Is A.J. Dillon a star running back? He's kind of a plodder. P-L-O-O-D-E-D-D-E. Yeah, plodder. He plods.
Okay.
You know, he's not. He doesn't make splash plays. He's not a world-class sprinter. He's none of those things. He's a good running back.
He's a red zone threat?
Definitely so.
That's the Cowboys need.
It wasn't, with the Packers last year, wasn't a touchdown guy, but previous to that in Green Bay had been a touchdown guy as kind of the 1-2 punch alongside Aaron Jones. So CowboysSI.com is reporting now, as you say, 1-2 punch, complimentary. A lot of people on Twitter at Fish Sports are going, complimentary to what? They don't have another. Their plan is to draft a guy.
Yeah.
The problem with their plan, and they've got a lot of plans that are problematic, they don't have that many draft picks. So you start pinpointing, well, listen, we're going to take a defensive tackle in the first round. We're going to take a linebacker in the second round. We're going to take a running back in the third round.
Forget about an offensive tackle.
And an offensive tackle. So you start locking yourself into needs in the draft, and that's a bad idea. Now, in terms of tackle and center, you've talked to a couple of the guys in your video visits, Bree Amaranthus, guys who could absolutely be drafted here at 24 and start at center, for instance, your fellow depth friend.
Jackson Powers Johnson.
That's a great example.
One of the funniest interviews of all time.
Absolutely.
He's also a great center.
He's Turd Ferguson.
Yeah.
So there's one guy. Now, how do you fill all those Cowboy holes, as you just said? We just went offensive line, maybe center and tackle, linebacker, defensive tackle, wide receiver, a running back. That's 5 of them. Well, the Cowboys don't have enough picks to go draft starters in all those spots. In fact, last year, they were hoping to get first-line players in their first and second round pick, and they got Mozzie Smith, who did not turn out to be a top-of-the-rotation guy, and they got Schoon, the tight end, who is not a top-of-the-rotation guy. So to think that all the answers are in the draft, you're going to get an aneurysm by thinking that too hard, because it's not going to happen. At some point, the Cowboys will be active in free agency. Tier 3 free agency or something. There are still running back bodies out there, but spending $12 million on Saquon Barkley, which, by the way, is way out of character for the Eagles. And yet, the Eagles are so good, the roster's really good, right?
Correct.
It's as good as anybody in the NFC. It's still 49ers pending what happens in free agency. 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, Lions. That's still the big four in the NFC. That's good news for the Cowboys. But the Eagles just landed the guy that I think, alongside of McCaffrey, is the best running back in football.
Yeah.
Put him on a good team.
With a good offensive line.
The Giants, I still don't understand it. Watching the Giants last year, he wasn't their third down back. They put some other schlemiel in on third down. Instead of Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
It's insane. I don't think the Eagles will make that mistake. So for the Eagles to go spend $12 million, and by the way, Saquon's from Philadelphia and he played at Penn State. It just makes all the sense in the world. That's a blockbuster move for them. That is a calculated home run swing. Cowboys don't need to do that. But yeah, running back, somebody's got to play running back here. They need to do something.
So are you saying the Eagles are the most improved in the NFC East division?
You take the, first of all, again, their existing roster, they'll lose some bodies from it. Bryce Huff, good young pass rusher from the Jets, and Saquon Barkley, arguably the best running back in football. that's 2 home runs waiting to happen. And yes, the Eagles deserve, and Howie Roseman, the general manager, they deserve all kinds of credit, especially because, again, the Eagles don't usually do that at running back. Our guys in Philadelphia were predicting there's no way that they're going to go spend $12 million because it's so out of character for them. But you start to look at the player separate from your philosophy. Saquon Barkley is that special, and yes, the Eagles have a chance to be that special too.
There's some non-free agency news in the NFL regarding Aaron Rodgers, of course, who says he's open to becoming vice president. What do you think of this?
Before we laugh it
Running
off,
for vice president.
yeah, before we laugh it off completely, and I won't talk about the previous president of the United States who did not have a political background.
Okay.
But we can go back to Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was an actor. Well, I mean, that worked, regardless of your particular feelings about blue and red and liberal and.
Yeah, we're not talking politics. We're
not
talking Aaron
politics,
Rodgers.
right? But if an actor can become a president, then I guess a football player can become the vice president. And so I won't make too much fun of it, except to say, I thought Aaron Rodgers just got done announcing that he was going to be in charge of getting rid of distractions with the New York Jets. So there'll be no distractions with the New York Jets, except that the starting quarterback and the highest paid guy and highest profile guy on the roster might quit football to go run the White House. As I said the other day, I don't know if he can beat Biden. I don't know if he can beat Trump. But one thing we can say about Aaron Rodgers, he sure beats the hell out of the Dallas Cowboys.
Good job. We got it.